point, okay? So it's really fast, okay?
Okay.
There were concepts before us. Concepts need a mind. That mind is God.
Prove that there were concepts before us.
Okay, an example would be the number 4. So, for example, a 4-leaf clover would have existed before there were any brains on Earth.
No. You're confusing the map for the place. The clover existed. The quantity that we identify as 4 to mark those petals didn't exist until there was a mind to invent that concept.
But there would have been 4 petals on that clover.
Exactly, but the concept 4 had no meaning and didn't exist. I mean, you're confused. Like I said, you're confusing the map for the place. You can't say that just because absent a mind, a 4-leaf clover will continue to exist, but there will be no concept of 4 without a mind. And so,
so with these logical absolutes, what you're saying are, he says that because we have a concept of them, that means they are the concept, but that's the mistake he made?
He made a lot of mistakes, and I definitely don't have time to go through them.
Have you guys ever listened to his show on YouTube and what he does with people? Like, his show is like the antithesis of your show, and he has callers in, atheist callers, who are really well-reasoned. And you should check it out, because he does, it's like you guys in a dark mirror, right? Because he actually does conversations with them with these really tortuous, what do you call them, fallacies, right?
Yeah, I saw a transcript of one he recently did with an evolutionary biologist,
right?
Which was painful.
And the point, the part of the point that that Matt's making is, it gets back to that whole Zen concept of if a tree falls in an empty forest, does it make a sound, right? Well, the whole it's a physical thing can exist, but if there are no minds around to observe it and then attach concepts to it for the purpose of understanding it, then all you have is the physical thing. Physical things and the concepts by which we understand them are not the same thing. They're related.
Exactly.
So in a sense, you would have a 4-leaf clover, but without a brain around to look at it and go, that's a clover and it has 4 leaves, then you just have the physical object unobserved.
So, not only that, but
and
it
may I
has
ask you guys
quattro
quickly,
leaves.
do you think Matt's actually believes his tag thing?
Yes, I do. I think he is. There are some people who are so seriously deluded, and particularly some intelligent people are really good at reinforcing those delusions that they believe for bad reasons. So, for example, after our 45-minute debate on tag, where we had this major disagreement, he goes back.
Matt, man, you let him actually, sometimes you're really effective and you really take them down, and then sometimes you let people go around in circles with you for 45 minutes,
Sure.
You actually kind of let him almost make a tie out of that one.
He didn't make a tie. He went back to his website and changed the argument based on the feedback that I'd given him to try to correct a mistake that he didn't understand. And in the process of trying to correct it, he made the argument even more wrong, if that's possible.
And he won't admit that he actually did that.
And then he went around claiming victory when at the end of our conversation, when he asked what
God was
the true
conceptual.
Yes.
I think what Ed's trying to say is that you might have given him the wiggle room to be that dishonest in response to the argument, but that's debatable. I would say that, and when Matt says that the other Matt is deluded, he's not. That doesn't necessarily mean, because we've had a few viewers ask us to be a little bit clearer on our terms here. Doesn't mean he's an idiot or a moron, right? I mean, I wouldn't put Matt Slick on the same.
He's an idiot and a moron on this particular subject.
He's dishonest in that
not
he does
in
not.
Total.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. I'm saying he's not at the same sort of subterranean intellectual level of Ray Comfort, for example.
Oh yes, he is.
He's a smart. But he's just as dishonest.
Yes.
In the way he argues.
Yeah, and by the way, the kind of
Ray would not have the brain power to come up with something like tag in the in the first place. He's down still.
Well, neither
he's still
did
down
Slick.
there with.
That's the problem.
Well, he came up with it, but
No,
he did
he
not
didn't.
how to. He did not know how to. He did not understand the fallacies that were ingrained in it.
He didn't come up.
Matt Slick went to post-secondary education, though.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so
When
he's
Ray
an
is still
educated
playing
idiot
with,
on
Ray's
those
still
subjects.
playing with blocks. That was my whole point. Kind of. Yeah.
Okay, but here's a further question. I mean, I went to talkorigins.org to see what, because they actually do have, for example, hominid skulls lined up, and I actually wonder, what kind of cognitive dissonance people have to have, because if you actually, in the year 2010, when people have an internet connection, it takes a special sort of compartmentalization of the brain to actually go to Talk Origins and see, and to think, okay, that's some sort of hoax that someone made those skulls up.
Well, what ends up happening with people like, for example, Ken Ham or Ken Hovind or whatever, that you'll line them all up and they'll go, yep, ape, human. The funny thing is, though, that if you get different...
monkey, human. That's another thing they don't get the
Can I ask you a question?
Well,
These people who deny evolution...
Hang on.
Sorry.
The important thing is that each of them will draw that line in a different place, which makes the case perfectly.
Okay, but what I
So
want to
last
say
question.
is, do these people ever go to the museum and look at the dinosaurs and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
They actually lead field trips to the museum where they pass out bad information. And then they go and create their own museum.
Yeah.
Because the museum, you go there and it's all right there, right? I mean, it's all there. And sometimes Richard Dawkins does interviews with creationists and they deny evolution, but Dawkins says, well, do you want to go to a museum with me? And they say no. But Dawkins is doing a bad job because he should go around with an actual binder with them filled with fossils, because they always say no transitional forms, and then he says no, but he never actually shows them. Like, he needs to come around with an actual binder full of transitional forms and show them that.
No, Richard Dawkins does not need to travel around with a bucket full of transitional fossils. He's not going to convince anybody by that. These people aren't convinced by that, and they're not.
They'll convince viewers. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, I'm just trying to say it seems like if you can't beat them, if you let them make it a tie, then you're doing a bad job. That's all I'm saying. You know.
I think anybody who thinks that thing ended up a tie didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Anyway, thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
You are mistakenly thinking that what creationists really are after is the facts about evolution. No creationist really wants to understand how evolution actually works. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to shut the whole momentum down there.
No, I was actually reading for the next caller. We've got John in London.
Okay, now. John?
Am I on air?
You are.
Yes, hi. Is this John?
Hi, I'm John Smith, also known as Thunderboot. Do you remember me, Matt?
No, sorry.
We talked almost a year ago, and you hung up on me and called me a buffoon or a prank caller.
In advance, let me clarify this real quick. Like for a minute ago when I was talking about Matt Slick and how he's an idiot on that particular subject, if I end up calling somebody an idiot or moron, I mean, first of all, it's not the first line of attack, but it applies to the specific context there. I'm not summing up somebody's entire character. There are plenty of areas where I'm an idiot or moron, as is evidenced by the the language issue that I had at the top of the show about agreel. I'm an idiot there, and was clearly. There may be some possibility here that you suffer a similar fate today, because according to this, you're claiming that Mark 16:17 proves Christianity.
Yes, I have proof of Christianity is accurate and correct, and I have proof of that the atheists are in fact immoral.
Okay. Really? Bring it.
Yes, so I would like to start with the proof that atheists are immoral. Would you agree with statistics can serve as proof?
No.
No.
You can't?
No. Because you can get statistics essentially to prove any point you like, right? I mean, for one political party will take a poll saying 90% of people agree with our views, and an opposing political party will take a poll.
80% of the people think they're above average.
No.
You don't get, I mean, you can use statistics.
This kind of statistics. In the UK prison population, recent studies have shown that 85% are atheists, approximately 85%.
Okay, now hang on. First of all, we need to know where you got that study from, what the methodology was, and how that compares to the average, how many atheists are in the population, because it's inverted here with U.S. statistics in that atheists are significantly underrepresented in the prison population of the United States. So that's the thing. I don't know what you're going to...
Yeah, I mean, the general U.S. population...
The Jews fill around with the proof, so they only show you what they want the proof to be. It's not real. The reality shows that the atheists are far more immoral than...
what reality are you living in, right? Because, you know, it's...
The real world.
Well, because... Oh, really? Because, see, in the real world I live in, it wasn't atheists who crashed airplanes into skyscrapers. It's not atheists who have been putting on robes and screwing little boys in the ass. You know? It's not atheists who've been doing that sort of thing. It's not atheists in Central Africa. It's not atheists in the Sudan who've been killing other atheists. It's Muslims and Christians.
Just let him go.
You know,
Catholics,
I mean,
you know.
So you're living in this little selective reality that you have constructed in your mind, but
let him go.
You know,
John, you present a statistic from out of nowhere saying 85% of prisoners in the UK are atheists. Okay, so what?
Yeah,
I mean,
so
and you've also said that Catholics have a distorted view.
They are immoral.
Why? First of all, you could be put in prison for example, smoking marijuana, which while it's illegal, I don't necessarily think it's immoral. So there's another flaw in your hypothesis.
It's very immoral to smoke pot.
Really? How do you know?
Yes.
How do you know? How do you know it's immoral? What's immoral about smoking pot? Any more than
God told you.
God told you?
Yes.
So do you hear an audible voice, or you just get a funny feeling?
Yeah.
Every time I pray to God,
do you get a little tingle down there?
His voice, yes, and that's how
you hear
I
an audible
go about living my life.
You actually hear an audible voice
in your head.
Yes, don't all Christians.
Okay. I take it back. You're not a buffoon.
You're insane.
You're insane, and you need to go get some treatment.
Yeah, you're mentally ill because, you know, when you talk to God, it's called prayer, and when God talks back to you, it's usually called schizophrenia.
It doesn't mean that I'm ill.
You're right. I'm not saying it just because I disagree with you. I'm saying it because by the definition,
I can say that you are ill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you deny the you reject the existence of God.
I think this is a fake call. I think you are just. I don't think you're real. I think you're just calling to make stuff up so you can hear yourself talk in the air. I don't think for a second, because you haven't gotten anywhere near Mark 16. And by the way, how could you?
I could get to that point if you let me.
Well, I'm not gonna let you. I have a much shorter show and a lot of people calling, and there is no way that a verse in the Bible could prove that Christianity is true. If you don't understand that, go Google circular reasoning. Hang on.
It
go
says
that Google.
The blessed will survive deadly poisons.
Yes.
And I know the blessed ones that survive deadly poisons.
Okay, fine. Let me finish. First of all, go Google circular reasoning. Second of all, you should look because Mark 16, 9 through 20 isn't in the oldest and best manuscripts of Mark. It's generally considered to be a forgery. And if you have evidence of people being able to handle snakes without dying and drink poison and whatever else, they can win $1 million prize from the James Randi Educational Foundation for demonstrating supernatural prowess. But in any case, even if they can, it doesn't prove that the cause of their ability to drink those poisons and not die is God or Christianity. Because in that case, you would have a correlation and not a causation. Bye. Way too short of a show to put up with crap like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the minute you admit that you hear voices in your head, you're pretty much done here. Yeah.
So we've got Kyle in Abilene. How are you?
You need a doctor, not us. Kyle?
Hey guys, doing good. Thanks for taking my call on the show.
Sure.
I just got a quick question. I'll be succinct, and I'll take the answer up there.
Okay.
How do the prominent apologists defend the contradiction of the omni attributes of God? I've heard a few, and I kind of get lost when they try to explain it. I was wondering if you could kind of make it a little coherent for me.
You mean how omniscience and omnipotence? Omniscience and omnipotence contradict one another, that sort of thing?
How the prominent theologians, in order to get around the contradictions, redefine the terms such that God has all power that is logically possible, that is not contradictory. So they redefine the terms in that way, which actually doesn't eliminate all the possibilities once you start putting them together, but it does eliminate one little issue. That's about it.
But then what you can always then at that point just kind of nail them for goalpost shifting when they do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, when I said he was omnipotent, I just meant he was, like really, really strong. It's
Otherwise,
Corey in Hernando.
Hey guys.
How you doing?
Really big fan of the show.
Thanks.
I just wanted to talk about just like crazy conspiracy theories, like the government made AIDS or something like that.
Sure.
And then I want you to tell me how much of an idiot I am for believing in 911 truth.
Oh, you're a 911 truther?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the basis by which you think that those claims are true?
I don't believe. I question both sides, but I believe it's probable because how could the buildings fall?